the education is very cutting edge. You are in a very nurturing environment. And I think education is created there with the mindset that girls can really do anything.
Hi, it's Brian Master here from Our Kids Media, and pleased to welcome Wendy Sun, a graduate of the Bishop Strachan School. How are you, Wendy?
I'm great today. How are you, Brian?
I'm feeling really good. And you're enjoying your summer so far?
Yeah, it's been a busy summer over here.
First of all, I wonder if you can just sum up in a few words what you've been up to since you graduated the Bishop Strachan School, or BSS, and where did you go to post-secondary school, and what did you study?
Right after the Bishop Strachan School, I studied biomedical engineering at Columbia University in New York City. And then I went down to Richmond, Virginia at the Virginia Commonwealth University for medical school. And now I'm an emergency medicine resident here at Yale New Haven Health.
Do you think that Bishop Strachan School influenced your choice of university and your field of study?
Yes, of course. I feel like when I was at the Bishop Strachan School, I really loved both the arts and sciences, which were really strong at the Bishop Strachan School. And the culture there is that whatever, you want to do, like the faculty members and like the heads of the school, like the leadership there will be super supportive. So, while I was at the Bishop Strachan School, I started a Lego robotics team to help the inner city schools in Toronto. And then they saw that I was really interested in robotics. So actually started the robotics team, and then we were able to compete, and we actually made it to the international competition in Atlanta. And I think definitely having had those opportunities and kind of strengthened my application for later on when I studied biomedical engineering at Columbia, and also helped me gain the skills to really thrive there, to kind of help me set up for success later on in my career.
If you were to write a resume, let's say, listing your experiences and some of the things you enjoyed about going to, we'll call it BSS for the sake of this interview. Is that okay with you, Bishop?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, good. What would you say, what would the resume look like, including, say, your extracurricular activities and some of the subjects that you excelled at?
Yeah, that sounds great. So, things that I've always loved is music. So I was actually the concert master for the strings group. And I was also involved with like senior choir and also the folk group, song choir. I love the sciences, so I was a team captain of the robotics team. I also started the Lego robotics camp for grade 3 and 4 students. And I was super into community service, so I actually started the Trick or Eat program at BSS. And then what else? I love sports, so I played on the field hockey team and the volleyball team and the basketball team.
Wow. Did you have time to study, or?
Definitely. So I actually lived in boarding during the weekdays, and then I went back home on the weekends because I just loved being involved with everything, and to cut down the commute time definitely, gave me time to study during the week and to also hang out with, my friends in boarding.
Oh,
So
cool. And
yeah,
the Bishop Strachan School is in such a beautiful neighborhood in Toronto.
definitely.
Yeah, great area. Wendy, just take a moment. What do you think was your proudest moment at Bishop Strachan School?
I feel like there's definitely a lot of moments that have been like really exciting at BSS, but I think for me, just cultivating community as a house prefect at the end of as a grade 12 student, and like being there for the boarders was, really rewarding, and being able to, create community, and finally, after I left BSS, kind of, leave a lasting impact there. I think that was definitely really rewarding for me.
Wow, great answer. That's really something to want to leave it in a better place than when you first started there. Let's think back to when you and your family were choosing a school to send you to. Why did they choose BSS?
When we walked through the doors, there was just this warmth that exuded from the school, from kind of, the secretary that sat at the front of the, at the school, welcoming you there, and like, then the teachers sometimes hang out and like welcome folks in. And so I think just that general like energy that I felt. I can't really, put a specific word to what I felt, but when you walk through the doors on Lonsdale Road, like you
Right.
feel, yeah,
I know. I can see it as you say it. I see it. So I get the feeling that you felt welcomed. You felt like you belonged there, for lack of a better term.
yeah, for sure. And it's just that warmth and energy, and like seeing the students and how happy they are, and
Mm.
seeing the student teacher interactions, like, having, fun conversations outside of class. I think that's really telling. And, that sense of community.
If you had to pick a one thing, what did you appreciate most about attending BSS, Bishop Strachan School?
Wow, I think definitely it's the people at the school, from the friends, the teachers. They've definitely, helped me become the person I am today, like in my most transformative years. And I feel like the friends that you definitely make there are lifetime friends. And the teachers, like, I still keep in touch with them, and I
Oh,
go back and say hi. They are just such excellent educators that, and that's what they've dedicated their lives to, and they're just absolutely phenomenal.
what in your mind differentiates BSS from schools families may choose instead?
Yeah, I think with BSS, the quality of the education is really phenomenal. And they always believe that girls can do anything. And that's really what I felt there. So, a lot of the activities I was involved with, it didn't exist, but I voiced that, hey, I'm interested in this. And I was able to get into contact with, the administration, the faculty members, who were really able to help me kick it off the ground and like start. So I think, I really felt like I could do anything coming out
Yeah.
of BSS.
It sounds to me like you were a pretty inquisitive person from the get-go.
Yeah, I think so. And definitely, I think the teachers there also helped me with that and help nurture my inquisitivity, and then also kind of like my interest in science for sure.
Say Bishop Strachan School, BSS, is to become personified. The school is literally a person. Describe its personality in 3 words.
I think if I were to describe BSS, I think of it, I see kind of like two roles almost. And it's interesting because I think, it's fun and this person's like supportive. And I would feel, comfortable telling, yes, this person kind of what my dreams and aspirations are. And at the same time, as much as it fulfills like the friend parts of it, it also has that like parent kind of feeling to it, where it's
Oh,
like I know that I'm accountable to be the best that I can be, and be the best person I could be. And I know that, I'm constantly, pushed to be the best that I can, essentially.
excellent. What would you say are the school's highest values in actual practice, Wendy?
Kind of what I alluded to earlier, the belief that, girls can really do anything, and just being as supportive and cutting edge as possible in the education that it provides.
Was there some things at the school at BSS? What do you think people would find surprising about it?
I think, like going to interview and learning about the school, like what I got during my interview, and like what I felt like in terms of energy, is really what, how I felt during the 4 years as that I was there. I felt like folks were really honest in the way that they kind of told like people about the school. So I can't say there was anything really surprising in terms of, I got the education that I loved and kind of exceeded. I guess in a way, like it's surprising in that I did feel like um, I had the opportunities to do way more than I thought I would.
How would you describe a typical student at BSS? How do you remember students relating to one another?
Folks at BSS are all, very caring of one another.
Hmm.
Um, we feel like a family essentially with the students there. And I think the coolest thing is that all of the students, like my friends, all had different interests. And so it was like a very diverse population of students. And it was cool, like learning from my friends who loved doing like musicals and like learning about musicals, because that was like one thing I wasn't involved with as much. And then so kind of like everyone had their own interests. Like another friend was like really into dance and another friend was really into debating. And so just learning from my friends and being together and learning along the way together was really wonderful.
That must have been fun having those conversations about your different interests. The hi, hey, did you know that, or did you see that, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think especially like being boarding, like folks come, I think when I was there, came from over 20 countries. And so
Wow.
also learning about different cultures and being like having like a global perspective of things and being really able to be in other folks' shoes and kind of
Mm.
seeing things from their perspective. I think I learned at a young age.
And that's become so important these days in the last little while, hasn't it? To
For sure, I think
appreciate
definitely, and
diversity.
I think that ability to kind of see where other folks are coming from and like having empathy, and
Uh,
that's has really, helped me through my career.
do you think your experience at Bishop Strachan School has shaped you to be the person you are today?
I think definitely.
In what way?
I think in terms of, high school is really transformative. And I think it's a lot of times where you learn how to overcome adversity, you learn how to problem solve. And it's like the first time you're kind of making a lot like decisions on your own and being your own person. And so I think, BSS just created that perfect environment where I could strive to be the best I can and like pursue different things while, like the faculty there, are always kind of, giving me that independence, but making
Mm.
sure, I don't fall hard.
Reflecting back on your experience at BSS, if you had to pick something to change about the school, what would it be? What would have helped you if it were different about the school? Anything?
I think I just had such a positive experience. I like there's very little things I would change. But I do have to say, like over the years, I've seen the student population become even more diverse, which
Mm.
is like really heartwarming. One of my best friends from college, her sister's currently at BSS, and just seeing, the growth that it has, come in terms of like the diversity in the student population is really, really amazing and incredible. So, I think it's doing like it's doing the growth that it's been great, I think.
So you wouldn't basically change anything about it.
I wouldn't. I think, the things that, with I think with, a more diverse like student population, things like that, it's doing that already. So
How has your perspective on BSS and your experience there evolved over time? I kind of know what you're going to say here, but how do you feel about the school now that you're no longer there? Well, it's been 10 years, but you're still pretty enthused about it.
yeah, I still love the school. And I think, the cool thing is like once you go to BSS, you have this incredible alumni network. And so I feel like there's always like a bond. It's like, oh, you went to BSS, I went to BSS too. And kind of the BSS alumni and who we call like old girls are kind of everywhere in the
Mhm.
world. And so kind of you run into folks, you know, pretty frequently actually. So it's like really cool to have that support network and to have a network of old girls where, you have that common bond with.
Is there anything you would say to a family who's considering sending their child to BSS?
Yeah, I would say, talking with my parents, like a decade later, they're also, they felt that I was at a safe place, in boarding and getting the best education that I can. And from their end and from my end, like we're so grateful to BSS.
What about a family touring or visiting the school? Is there anything that you would draw their attention to above anything else? Like maybe
Yeah,
the campus or the people?
yeah, the campus is so beautiful. It kind of looks like Hogwarts. And I think on my most recent visit, they actually built this new wing with like a living wall, and it's just so beautiful. But I would say, when you're on tour, just really appreciate the student to student and student to faculty interactions, because I think that's something unique about BSS. I think just the community. So kind of appreciate that on tour.
Imagine that you're talking to a student who is about to enter Bishop Strachan School. They're watching you, the enthusiastic graduate from BSS, and you've got their full attention. What would you say to that student? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think I would tell them, be yourself and know that there's no limit. If there's a passion if there's something you're passionate about, go for it. Tell someone about it, and someone will be able to help you achieve that dream.